All right, so welcome to, I guess it's our first actual Monday night meeting because our last meeting was on Tuesday. We've got lots to cover tonight. I want to welcome, we have some guests joining us from PEI. If you're from PEI and want to say hi to everybody, now's, if you want to take a second to do that, feel free. Anybody?
Folks, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. We have our meetings on Tuesday night, so this works out kind of cool. Get double the football. My wife loves it too.
Excellent.
She loves it.
All right, so let's, I'm going to share my screen. We've got lots of stuff to go through tonight. And then I'm going to flip the screen over to Al. He's got some videos for us in a little bit as well. So let's get started here. I'm just going to put this here so I can see everyone. Okay, everybody sees my screen? Yep. All right, let's get going. So here are all the scores from the weekend. And again, we're just going to go through these real quick. If there's anything that we should know about as far as team tendencies go, any special plays that we saw, we should talk about. And you know, but it's more of a real brief conversation. Let's go. So we got Thursday night, Moncton High versus Odyssey, 17-14 was the final score. Andrew Bubar was the referee in this one. Andrew, anything you want to talk about in this game?
Straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. It was a great game, came right down to the last play of the game, a defensive stance on the goal line. Harrison Tremble versus Bernice McNaughton. Mr. Bubar, you were the referee again in this game.
Yeah. The one thing I'll mention there, we did have a kid who had 2 URs in the first half, and Mr. Prosser alerted me of that. So at halftime, I mentioned it to the coach. That's a protocol we need to remember when we get a second UR on a particular kid, regardless of what time of the game it is. We need to let the coach know that because that kid's in jeopardy of being ejected from the game at that point in time. So, yeah. But beyond that, it was a pretty straightforward game.
Okay. Leo Hayes at St. Max. Pat Mullins, I believe you were the referee for that one.
Yeah. Nothing too special about team tendencies. Both teams threw the ball well, ran the ball well. I gotta say, Eric Sabian took good care of us. He was the referee liaison for the evening. So okay. If you get a St. Max game, consider yourself lucky.
Excellent. Ormukto versus Fredericton. Pat Fairweather was the referee there. I don't know if he's on the call, but was anybody else in that game?
Mark, you were in that game.
Yeah, I was there, and even though the score looks a little lopsided, the OHS actually played quite well, just wasn't able to put the ball in the end.
Okay. And then on Saturday, we had Matthew Martin at Riverview, and Jack Kingston was the referee in that one.
Good football game. Very hot out. Reminders we talked about last week to hydrate. It was probably the hottest game I've ever officiated in 25 years.
Ray, I'm here. I can talk on the KV game if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we had by the sounds of it, the first of the 3 URs in your removed. That was our second ejection of the night. We had a good targeting call by Todd on a defenseless player who got ejected. And then we had 3 URs. The coach, like Mr. Bubar said, we made the coach aware at halftime that he had 2. The discussion was what happens if he gets a third, and we basically we don't have that answer because we're not part of the disciplinary process. So it was simply just, coach, if if he gets this third, then he's removed from the game. The game report will go in as such, the 3 URs, and I said whatever happens after that point's between the league and you guys. So he questioned one of them. The third and final one he was okay with. But as a reminder to everyone on the crew, it's everyone that we have to make sure that the coaches are being told what's going on, because it's something that could slip by if we're not paying attention to that penalty card carefully.
Good point, Chris. And later, right at the end of this presentation, I'm just going to talk about reports again and how important they are. So I've got a couple documents I'm going to show you at the end of how we want to prepare those reports. So, for example, this week the coach did question one of the calls. So we sent in 2 pieces of video, the game report, an incident report, as well as a document Al provided me from Football Canada on how to use the video. So it's really important in those situations that we have as much detail as possible, and we'll go through some reports later on. Let's go over to AUS. St. Mary's at Acadia.
That was a hockey game.
Yes.
It was 4-3 at halftime, if I remember correctly. It was a fairly well-played game. Andrew Potter talked earlier about the stick crew that they had at Mount A. Don't think that just because you're working youth sports that you have excellent stick crews. We had a group of young men who are very, very trying for Dunfield. And fortunately, he got them online. I do have a clip that I'll show you later on when I do my video stuff that I pulled out of the game, that by that point in time, Aaron sort of had them on track. But it was overall a pretty good game. Nobody wanted to score. Offense, any scoring was done by kicking, except for the D had a scoop and score for St. Mary's.
Yeah. St. of X Mount A. Anything out of that game?
Game is just as the score looks, lopsided, undisciplined on one side, windy field, handled fairly well.
The thing I'm surprised about Mount A is, like, at the passing camp this year, Mount A was dominant in that passing camp, and I'm just curious why that doesn't translate to the actual fall football.
Because you have an offensive and defensive line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, that is the scores of the week. Let's go on to our next speaker is going to be Bill Pickerel. He's going to give us a little update on the evaluation process.
We're going to start crew evaluations this week. Jack Anderson will evaluate the Thursday night game at Moncton High and one of the 2 Friday night games in Moncton High. We haven't decided. It'll depend on the crew assignments, which I haven't seen yet. Norm Sagan is currently out of province dealing with a personal matter. He'll be back Thursday, and he may or may not be able to evaluate one of the Fredericton games. I don't know about St. John. Al, are both you and Chris in one of the games Friday night?
I am working Friday night, and then I'm out of province Saturday, Sunday.
Chris?
I'm working Friday night and Saturday. Yep.
So none in St. John. The emphasis will be on crew evaluations. We will only be doing individual evaluations for those that are required for certification upgrades or in any kind of special situations. Intent is to improve all of our games. The evaluator will send copies of the evaluation to everyone that was on the crew, and it'll be shared by all of the evaluators. I've mentioned a couple of times before about the mentoring process. We have done some in Moncton already. I would strongly encourage St. John and Fredericton, if you have experienced officials available to help out, usually at the minor level, with not just new officials, but maybe officials new to a position. That's one really good way to help improve ability levels on the field. It has been well accepted in Moncton. We will continue to be doing it there. Anybody, any questions or comments, suggestions about it?
I have two, Bill, if I can toss them in right now that go with this.
Sure.
Do you have your coaching.ca code, Bill? When you took your master evaluator, did you get your certification code or whatever the hell they call it?
No,
Coaching.
no, they were not issuing them at that time.
Okay. Okay, I'll talk to you later about it. Anybody
Okay.
who is taking a certification evaluation, Football Canada, I mentioned this in one of our earlier meetings, Football Canada is starting a database on officials and their certifications for flag and tackle football. So what that means is, I'm going to use Eric Sabian as an example because he's going to do up his level 2 soon. Excuse me. And what Eric will have to do is go to coach.ca and get a registration number. Robert St. Pierre, if anything I say is wrong, please correct me. So Eric would have to get a registration number. When he's done his level 2, I would go in and upload his evaluation. And then that would start to track under Eric. So he'd have his level 2, his level 3, and so on. And it's all it is a means of tracking officials. So if Eric, for some unknown reason, Cook Aquaculture sends him to the mighty seas of Saskatchewan, and he arrives there, then they would be able to track to see where his certification was. It's not a difficult thing to do. It's pretty quick to do, but it's been something Football Canada for quite a while has been talking about, trying to create data on which officials are certified at what level and so on going forward. So,
I'll talk to you sometime tomorrow about the process.
yeah.
All right,
Anything
we good on evaluations? All right, our next slide comes from Jack Kingston. He sent me 2 scenarios to talk about. So Jack, do you want to drive this slide?
Sure, I'm not seeing it. I think it's my view. Is this the email I sent you earlier? I can't see the slide, but I can speak to it.
Yeah, so I'll give you the scenario. So Jack thought these were 2 plays we should talk about. So the first one is we have 3rd down and 4. We have offsides on the defense, then a 5-yard, no yards penalty downfield on the kicking team. How are we handling this play?
Anybody now?
Apply the penalties in the order that they occur.
Repeat down.
Gonna be first down
Why?
because the offside on the defense first, and they only need 4 yards to gain.
What about the no yards penalty?
That happens after.
So, yeah, so you're not disregarding the penalty.
Oh, no, of course. So I say then they would come back 5, but it would still be first down, 1st and 10.
So the first options to the offense of whether or not they are going to accept the offside defense penalty. If they say they are, then you come back to the line of scrimmage, offset there, and away you go again. If they decline the penalty, then B is going to get the ball 5 yards in advance of where the play ended.
Assuming number 1's the correct, what happened, Jim? What down would it be?
Repeat.
It'd be third.
That's where I wanted to talk about it. Yeah. So The referee did not apply this one correctly, thinking that it would be a first down situation, whoever that referee might have been. So yes, it should. I talked it over afterwards. It should have been a repeat of third down.
Yeah.
Because chances are you're not going to decline the penalty and give the ball up. I know that's an option, but I just didn't think it was worth giving it to. There was no wind or anything like that. They certainly would have taken the ball. It wasn't a long punt or anything. So, but your point's valid, Jim.
As a referee, the first thing that you need to do is recognize what you're dealing with. And in this situation, it's a dual foul. And dual fouls are applied in the order in which they occur. The only time that you are going to disregard a penalty is if it's a double foul against the same team, a double minor foul, because they can only take one of those. But in this case, both penalties are going to be applied, and they're both 5-yard penalties. And because it happened so that the offense gets the first option, they're applied at the previous line of scrimmage. But you got to think your way through it and recognize what you're seeing or what you're dealing with.
Keep in mind as well, folks, in this situation, I know it didn't happen Saturday with Jack, but there is a possibility that the offense would turn this down if they pinned them on a punt or whatever.
Right.
Consider that is still an option for them to turn down that offside if they like the result of the punt play.
Wait, so what did it ended up being then? Third down?
Third
4
down
yards again.
repeated.
Yeah,
And
it's everything repeated.
Repeated.
Yes, if they apply both penalties, Michelle, it would be third down repeated. What I'm saying is if the offense declined the offside against the defense, they're giving the ball away, yes.
Yeah.
They may have been real happy with the result of their kick and wanted to
Okay.
keep that field position and give up the 5-yard penalty on the no yards.
Yeah, so if it ends up on the, say, the 5-yard line way down there, they might
Correct,
say,
yeah, something of
okay.
that nature, yeah.
Okay.
Especially if wind or weather's a factor with the field, right?
Correct, because by both teams accepting these penalties, all you have is a redo. So if the offense was real happy with the result of their punt, they would take the 5-yard loss and carry
Okay.
on.
But you can see that it's important to understand what you're dealing with, recognize the situation.
So the only way it would have ended up being first down if there was the no yards penalty, then you would end up first down.
Yeah, if they decline the offside.
Right.
All right, let's go to number 2. So we have 2nd and 12. We have offsides on the offense, then pass interference on the defense of more than 15 yards. How are we sorting through this? And this,
Same line that Bill gave. Think of it that way. Do them in the order in which they occur with 2 minor fouls.
So,
And
17.
And what's the significance of a PI on a dual foul?
not
Right.
an automatic first
That's
down.
the key to this.
Correct.
Right, it's not an automatic first down. That's the significant point in this situation.
exactly.
The,
17.
the balancing of the penalties is relatively straightforward. It's a matter of, as part of the dual foul, the PI doesn't give them an automatic first down. And where this was 2nd and 12, the 10 yards would also not give them the first down. So there was 2 things to consider on that one.
What if it was a pass interference by the defense of only 7 yards?
Offset
That would
5
be,
and 10.
well, spot foul. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's a 5 and 10. The PI would be applied as a 10-yard penalty. And again, still no automatic first down.
So you got a net 5 and no first.
Correct.
Suppose
So
that
in this case, it's going to be 2nd down, repeat it, 2nd and 2.
Correct.
Suppose instead of it being pass interference, it was unnecessary roughness. There's a trick to that one as well.
It's up 10 automatic first down.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
UR is not an automatic first down if it's part of a dual foul.
If it's 2 URs, Bill.
2 URs, yeah, but not, what I was saying was if it's offside offense and UR defense.
That's still an automatic first down. If it's you are both teams, you don't have the automatic.
It's an automatic first.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. I was thinking of restricted distance.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
All right, good discussion. Thanks for sending those in, Jack. We are now going to go over to Al. So Al, I need to switch you to host.
Please.
There you go.
And what do I do now? Do I have to do anything?
You have to share your screen.
Okay, so where am I going? Where am I going? Don't tell me E. Please. Bum. Okay. Why is this not working for me?
There you go. It's working now.
No, that's not the screen I want you to see. Or is it? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Shut up.
Well, be careful what you put up on the screen here, Dave.
I know. I checked it. That's why I have all these little things open to make sure all the good ones are there. All right. So, because the New Brunswick High School Football Association has not uploaded videos yet, and I happen to be a friend of KV head coaching staff, they always share video with me. The first one I'm going to show is OHS against FHS. There's only 4 clips from it. And keep in mind, please, I think there's 13 clips altogether, 12 clips altogether. There's some positive things and there's a few things that are maybe we need to correct. So with that said, I'm going to try and find the correct one. There it is. Perfect. All right. And the problem is, I'm not an expert working with Huddle, the new Huddle. So you have to bear with me for a couple of seconds as I jump to the slide that I have to go to. My apologies.
Can you not download them anymore? Or?
I can download them, but then I don't have the information on. So here's the first play. It comes up. It's a kickoff. Return to the sideline. Okay, so watch in this area that I have my nice round circle in. So who right now, based on where the ball is and the action that's happening, should be covering that area?
Is it a 5-man crew, Al?
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. All the video clips are five official crews.
Should be a down judge.
That, well, or the line judge or the referee, I would think that's backside stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Okay,
the down judge would be on this side of the field. Line
Down
judge
judge
would be
is
on the other side.
around
Yeah,
here somewhere.
hopefully they're watching this, yeah.
Well,
Well,
down judge should likely have the ball by now.
have the ball, correct.
Yeah.
So the down judge
Mhm.
has this. Okay. The back judge, I believe that, I don't know who it is, but if this is the back judge, should have eyes in this area. And the side judge should have eyes in this area. Okay. Is that fair to everybody?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We also will have a back official coming up here also. Okay.
Long way away for the line judge to see that.
Yeah, and that's it should be this guy back here that's picking it up. Okay, and here's the reason why. So we have two guys that can plant it. Okay. Okay. Player right here and the kid with the white helmet. Player right here and the kid with the white helmet. Both players get blasted. And unfortunately, it didn't get picked up. So just make sure that we have soft eyes or eyes that we can see the whole, most of the field, so we don't miss things like that. Oh God, where'd my count go? Okay. Oh, sorry, next one.
I'll just second. If you click on that up arrow next to 57, I think
Yeah.
it'll open your count again. Click on that. It should open. No. Okay.
No.
I thought that would open up your. Okay. That's your notes.
I don't like this program, but anyhow, that's just me. Okay, this is just simply a mechanic thing. And I realize this is, by all fairness, the first full-scale football game that most people have worked. So the question is, what type of play is this?
Pass. Well, maybe.
Wasn't it forward?
Okay.
Mm.
Boom.
Oh,
Okay,
look,
quarterback, ball's coming to
Ju-
quarterback right here.
Mm-hmm.
What
Checks the
type of
flow.
play is it?
Screen pass.
behind the
Forward
lines.
pass behind the scrimmage.
Screen pass.
Okay, so we got a screen pass. Okay,
Raise
and
your
again, as I
arm.
said, we should have arms up on the sideline so that those big guys can be downfield
Yeah.
blocking legally. 6.
Al, is it
But-
possible? Is it possible for a QB to hand the ball off without it moving forward on that
Can he
type of play?
No, you gotta
Whoa,
leave
whoa,
this
whoa.
alone, Dunn.
No. So Ray Dunn,
It's a speed skating rule.
you've completely changed the play, going back to history to try and make fun of somebody. If
All
the
right.
quarterback hands the ball off,
Yeah,
it is not a pass.
right.
And most of the time behind the line, he might be handing it off. So good setup for wide field goal setup, for wide field goal coverage. Okay. Everybody moves to where they have to go. All right. Early season, well done. Oh, cripes, 111. This will be the last one from this game. Thanks. Oh, it's going to be this player, I believe, coming out on the route. I don't know why this guy right here. Okay, where'd he come from? Okay, so it's number 19, this kid right here that we want to watch. And just keep in mind.
So he comes up, jams the defender, then rolls off.
Okay, do we have anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, do we have anything on the first part of it?
I think the first part is good. He jams a guy
Okay, so
high.
So it's a legal attempted block on the line of scrimmage. That is permitted. So that's all good. Then he rolls out. And the blue player in blue accidentally gets his feet caught up with the kid in yellow.
That wasn't a catchable ball.
You gotta give that to him.
Yeah, trailing receiver.
I'm
You,
throwing that.
like, he goes down well before the ball ever hits the ground.
He got
Yeah.
tripped up early enough, I'd say, yeah.
So an argument from a coach is going to be that was an accidental tangling of feet. It shouldn't be a foul. The problem with the play is the player in blue is in a trail position and he causes the player in front to stumble and go down, and the ball was in the air. Okay, so we have a pass interference on that one. Okay.
If they're
All
side
right.
by side, the coach has a point.
Yep. Okay, so that's that group. Oh God, how do I get that back down to the bottom? Oh, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so the next game that I had access to is the ESA, Kosenan, and KVHS play, and I'm game. Okay. That's not the one I need anymore. So it's here. So I'm going to sort of do this slightly out of order. As Ray mentioned earlier, or Chris mentioned earlier, it might have been Ray, in the KV game, they had a targeting foul call. And I'm going to show you that first because I have the clip from the sideline that is okay, and the clip from a drone, which is okay. So bear with me for 1 second. 46. The swing pass, first tackle attempt is good. It's a little high, but it's good. And then the second kid comes in and the side official throws his flag. I'm going to say this maybe as something that we need to keep in mind as the season goes on, that when we have a player who is being tackled and going down, and we have an opponent coming in hot, we need to become very much focused on where the contact is and what the contact is. Okay? So that's from the sideline. Is it a targeting foul from the sideline? It's very hard to tell. Even when I took it to my video processor, it's hard to tell from this angle because 21 gets in the way. This is the KV. Other KV head out of the way. This is the player in white. And it's hard to tell.
That's all he wants.
This is the same play.
That's all he
Going to
wants.
happen over here. Oh, shoot. Okay, so the first part of the tackle is okay. There's no concern there. Watch the second part. The offensive player is going down. Defensive player comes in and hits him and shoots the kid's head back. Again, it's not great. Colors off a bit. I was able to zoom in and slow it down frame by frame. Good call.
Looks like he led with his head, is what I'm saying.
Well, actually, Jack, when I was able to zoom in on it, and I don't have that clip, the zoomed in clip, it's actually his forearm. He went right to the kid's head with.
Yeah, it's hard to see on there, but there's something there, it looks like.
That was my call, and there was no attempt to let up.
No. Okay, so
Todd, can I just ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So when you're on that play and that kid's coming hot, are you communicating at all with the kid? Like, or are you just letting the play run to its end?
It happened pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like he kind of came out of the I'm watching the ball carrier, I'm watching the ball, and then just kind of out of the corner of my eye, this number 5, I think it was, just come in and hit him right. Like I didn't even have a chance to react to him.
Yeah.
It just like I said, was bang bang.
Okay.
I probably would have if I would have seen him coming in hot and he actually had a good run at the guy, but
how would you communicate with that player, Ray? You're asking that question. Is there
I listen, I'm communicating. Guys that have worked with me know I'm yapping all the time. But if there's any way that I have the ability to prevent something from happening on the field, I'm gonna work at it. But it's like Todd just said, like sometimes the play just happens so quick, you don't have a chance as an official to react to the player coming in. So I was just curious if there was any communication attempt there on that one.
Dan, you yap when you're by yourself.
So
I have a question about the comment. You just mean on the field or in general? The yapping part.
It's too easy.
I am not gonna add any further comments at this time.
That's a change.
So would the
Michelle, you-
whistle have been blown by that time? Because the ball carrier's butt was on the ground.
Just barely. Yeah, I doubt,
Yeah,
I
it
doubt
was-
if your whistle had gone yet, had it, Todd.
Probably
No,
not.
it hadn't even gone yet. It was banging, then I hit the whistle and threw my flag. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but what would you say? So Ray, how would you yap if you were gonna say something?
So,
Like, would you say,
like
don't
if
hit him?
if you've got no yards, like, so let's say I'm down deep on a punt, right? As soon as the ball is getting close to the receiver, I'm yelling, give yards, do this, do that, take it easy, watch the head, whatever the case may be, right? So it just depends on the circumstance, Michelle, what I might be communicating on a play, depending on my position. But yeah, like with when I'm working deep at the AUS, I'm talking to players all the time. Watch the hands, watch this. I'm doing that frequently.
And I fully agree with Ray. There are play sequences when we need to communicate with players all the time. Kicking ones are easy. Pass coverage is another one. Telling guys stay clean. On this type of play, you need players to be under control.
Yes, absolutely.
I believe if I go back through this, and we were on, that was at play 46, that contact. If I go back through it, I think you will see number 5 show up a couple of times in the video, in the game clips, about little shoves here and there and so on. That one, I don't think you can say anything because of the way in which it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what would you do? Yell, hey, don't hit him, or slow down, or, it's.
I would never say don't hit him unless he's lying on the ground.
Yeah.
Then coaches will lose their mind at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
You
Ray
use
said
the
you
word-
gotta judge the circumstances, take into account the type of play you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yell, careful, watch your hands, just
Play
that kind of
over.
stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't tell them not to hit them like Al
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's part
And
of
that
it.
happened quickly.
They're taught to play to the whistle. So we can't
Mhm.
tell them anything on the field that changes that mindset of playing to the whistle. Right?
Okay.
All right.
But there are plays where you don't need a whistle. Anyhow, let's carry on. So this is a poor blocking technique by this kid who's in the slot back position, the kid from KV in the blue that I have arrowed, and it slipped by.
Ooh.
Effective.
So here's a question now, everybody. I say it's a blocking technique, which would lead you to believe that that might be an illegal block. Is it?
I think that's a clothesline.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Almost looks
That's
like
a
clothesline.
UR, exactly. That play you should upgrade if you catch that. Hello. Oh, sorry. This we've already seen this one. Okay, so just a reminder, early in the season, we have a ball on the ground. Okay, the covering officials haven't indicated there's been a change or not. So if there's no change of possession, and it's easier said than done because I know we do it with good timers, that if there's no change, we don't stop the clock. And keep in mind that we are also trying to be much more actively echoing time signals because of the strength of our timers. So is what they do okay? And if it is, if it's okay, why? Want to see it again?
Yeah, they kind of bounced up there just before the snap.
They weren't set.
Speed.
They moved before the snap, just
That
before the
was
snap.
early.
A lot of
Yeah.
movement.
So they're stepping back into protection before the ball's even snapped. That's not the first time that happened in the game for KV. They have a tendency that their interior guys, because they want to lock feet behind, will step back very quickly. So if you have KV this weekend they're in Fredericton, I think, playing Leo Hayes, just be aware of that. Okay, so similar to the other game, who should be watching this area of the field? Ball's right here and is going to be caught on a kick return.
This is a kickoff.
This is a kickoff, yeah.
Down, Judge?
Okay, so if we slide back, well,
At what point?
Well, at one point it was, yeah, but not there.
okay, so here's the players we're watching. Okay, so where'd I go?
That'd be line judge originally.
Yeah.
Okay, so right there, that would be line judge, correct.
That far guy? Okay.
My circle should have gone even further over this way too.
Oh, okay.
Almost to go straight across that whole center section.
Okay.
Okay. So it's these two players right here that will be circled. So right now, at this point, who should be looking in here? Where's the ball?
Way down. It's the
down
two
field.
line judges should be looking at it.
Okay. Okay,
Well,
so
and then the referee be looking in as well, because he's looking at the backside of everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
The ball's right here and it's coming this way. Okay. So this area coming up almost center of the field has got to be officiated by the two officials on this side. Okay. So again, if you watch the player in white, watch where his hand goes.
Yeah, it's a takedown.
So horse collar.
Yeah, horse collar takedown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's just that little gray area. And now that the ball is here, we have a lot of people looking here. Okay. And we miss this.
We had one just like that at the St. Max game. It wasn't a horse collar, but he pulled him by the jersey down.
Yeah.
To the ground.
And did you caught it? Patrick, it got caught?
Yes, I flagged it, yeah.
Good.
Al, can you play that one more time? I just didn't quite see that where that was.
Okay, so this is where it starts. Okay, so it's these two players right here.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, play 75.
Oh, we had a kid trip over the rope there.
Okay. So watch this player here, what he does, because this is the stuff we need to get. And again, this is a true backside play. Everybody else, if I can draw my lines. Everybody else is there. These two guys are the only two true backside players. And the reason I say we need to focus on this because how it ends could have been much worse. Push, fortunately for Arliss, the guy didn't push him hard enough to knock him down. Okay, so those we have to catch, to protect our officials and protect players. And again, it's one of those area things that it's this area. Somebody's got to be picking it up. Big eyes. Okay, so we got 3 signals based on where the ball goes up here. But who's watching all these guys? Okay, so we have a signal from referee, from the down judge, and the back umpire or the field judge. Okay, this is where all the action is. Okay. He's watching action. He's watching action. He's watching action. He has the ball. Okay, it's just one of those things that when we all start following the ball, there's potential for bad things to happen. Almost done. I think this might be the last one. Great catch. See the elbow? This player right here, I believe it is. I'll go slow so I can make sure myself. Okay. So this player this kid right here is starting to go in this direction. So when we see that happen, what should our antenna go up and start us thinking about?
Blindside block.
A blindside block. So watch how he delivers the block. Okay. Okay. There's potential that it could have been even an elbow to the head. It's really hard to tell, and we've only got one angle. Based on the way the kid goes down. And then we have that one. Now, when I looked to the next play, you guys that were on the game, and that's a good catch, that second one. What was this called? This player's misbehavior. Matt, you had it, and I think is that Andrew D? Okay, Matt, you and Todd had it. What did you guys call in that one?
I just had a block in the back.
Block in the back? Matt's not here, is he? Okay.
Block in the back as opposed to blocking from the rear?
Yeah, that's my question. Should this have been an upgraded foul based on how he pushed him to the ground?
I can't see the number, but I've got the game report, and there was a blindside block on number 57, which 57
I'm back,
right
sorry.
there is right there.
Sorry, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry that I had to step out.
No problem. So this is not a blindside though.
No, he's going the other way.
Yeah, but the question is,
what number?
Oh, this is play 105.
I just had the penalty card in front of me. That's all.
Okay, 57. Play 105. You would have had 2. Well, I don't think we had 2. I think we should have had 2, but we only had 1. Okay, so we should have had a blind side right here.
Well, I think you do. There's a flag comes out from Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that one.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got one blind side, and then the next question is, we can't miss that. We got it. But if that's an illegal block, if it was called an illegal block, it's not. Okay. So if you check in the rule book for blocking from the rear, it's when it's a forceful hit placed on the back of the opponent or below the waist. This is enough to send this guy sprawling. Okay, and then he falls on him. So if you call it illegal block, you got something. But you guys should have probably even chatted about whether it should have been an upgraded foul. Of course, you have the penalty card right there.
We're gonna see it in a matter of
I do.
seconds here. Yeah.
Okay. So did you have a double on that with 2 URs or a UR and an illegal block?
With the UR and the illegal block.
Okay.
I don't know if Locker's on here. I think there was 3 flags on this. Does the play go a little further?
Oh, yeah, it
Yeah,
was. Sorry.
yeah.
There are all 3
I was going
flags.
to say that we had a chat about this. I obviously didn't see it that far, and we chatted about what it was, and it came back to me as an illegal block.
Yeah. So just keep in mind that if the force on the player's back is enough to send them flying, and the guy extends his arm hard enough, you might want to think about upgrading that to a UR. And that's it for the videos, except for one. So that's going to be down here. Okay, not playing it. So we talked earlier, Andrew Potter brought it up about the stick crew they had at Mount A. Aaron Dunfield had an experience for the first probably 3/4 of the game to get his 3 stick crew online. You'll hear us on occasion talk very sternly about when we have to do measurements, the importance of getting the spot correct and using that spot with the ball at it for measurements. So I just want you to watch this play. Please note, it doesn't show it up top, but this is 2nd down and 10. We are in the 4th quarter, I believe.
Yeah.
There's no volume on this, is there?
Why, do we hear you yell? No, I've got it turned off just in case.
Good, because I was ripping those kids.
Okay. And this is a really important part of the game because Acadian Marys have been driving back and forth trying to score a single point to win. Ball goes out of bounds right there. The line judge comes up and takes the spot right here. Now, unfortunately, the video doesn't do it any justice. If you get a chance to watch AUS TV, they say, well, that's a first down, that's a first down. We had to bring the sticks all the way across the field to measure that. To give you an idea of how close it was, I had to get Coach Cummins from Acadia and 2 of the captains from St. Mary's to stand in front, and I rolled the ball, and the distance between the end of the ball and the stick was the width of my little finger, probably even less than that. If the point ball went dead was out here where the line judge is, and we would have brought it way in here to measure, we would not have gotten that correct. And it took a while. But we took our time. We got it done. Even with a poor stick crew, we even tried to screw it up doing the measurement. Anyhow, it's vital that when we have short yardage or yardage that's close to a first down, that we measure it at the spot where the ball goes dead. And it can't be the spot, the point the ball dead in here, let's say, rather than out at the sideline, the ball went dead here. We can't have our line judge standing with his foot here. Okay, because it doesn't work. We've got to come right into the ball, or in this case, we were fortunate that it was right at the sideline. Anyhow, it's just a clip that I was able to pull out of the AUS huddle, but it's much longer and much more drawn out on AUS TV. So watch
there's no
those guys.
sound.
What?
So what's the problem?
I really hope there's no sound because I ripped them.
Well, they couldn't hear you.
Okay, good.
Bill?
What's the problem with gaining access to the high school huddle videos?
I don't know what's going on yet. We heard, Ray and I heard from Terry that it's supposed to be uploaded. We're supposed to have access to it. I just was on before our meeting started, and there's still nothing uploaded from last week.
Last year, Nick Murray was doing much of the uploading, and I haven't heard any, like I'd get, we'd all get emails that Nick had uploaded. I don't know who's looking after that this year.
Karen, you have a question?
Not a question, just a comment. The minor associations are filming all their U16 games this year.
Yeah.
So that will be an option for you guys. The GMFA has actually purchased 2 of the Pixelot cameras. So we're going to be filming all of our games. FYI.
Could we access those? Are they?
Sorry, what's that?
Are they going to be uploaded to Huddle or someplace we can access them?
I think so. FNB is using Watch Game Film.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly willing to work with you guys so that you have access to that film regardless of how that works.
It's supposed to be on Watch Game Film, which is another format, which is a less expensive format, which is beneficial.
Yes.
I asked John Wilkinson back in April when it was first announced that Football New Brunswick would be using this to please add me to the list. I don't know where we are at that point in time, but I have asked to make sure that I am added to it for this purpose. But as Bill alluded to, having access for all officials to watch all Huddle games is beneficial. To watch yourself, to watch somebody else, and to be able to use it to critique ourselves and get better. But yeah, I knew that minors going to the Watch Game Film, and
I'll bring it up, but we have a minor council meeting tomorrow night, so I'll bring it up just to make sure that it's not lost in the shuffle and make sure that you guys get access to our film for sure.
Great, thanks, Karen.
Awesome.
We guys, I guess I have to say we guys now, right?
Y'all.
Can I just make a comment? Going back to my stick crew incidents. This might be beneficial for some of the new guys. If you're doing your pregame, like on this stick crew, I gave them the usual spiel and I, left them. The final words I had with them is, and the most important thing, don't move the sticks or the downs box unless I tell you. Of course, second play of the game, they fucking moved everything. But I was thinking afterwards what I could have done maybe to help them. If there's anything I could have done to make it not such a painful experience. And if you're doing your pregame with the stick crew, and if they've never done it before, and you've got a couple space cadets, maybe do a little dry run of actually setting the sticks up and just getting them used to setting them up. And you put the downs box down, you put the back stick, and then pull the front stick forward and what have you. Because the guys I had, they couldn't even get the stick set properly. One was pulling it, the other one was pulling it, so back and forth. So maybe doing a little dry run at the start of the game, just to get them used to setting those sticks up the proper way, might be beneficial.
Ray, do you have control now?
You have to give me.
I stopped sharing.
Yeah, but now you got to go to my picture, click on the three
picture.
dots, and then make me host.
Make host. Do you want to host? Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I'm the host again.
Okay, perfect.
All right, I will wrap this up pretty quick. Can everybody see my screen here again?
Yep.
Okay, so this is just a repeat from last week. We talked about URs, OCs, and targeting. We need all the details on this. So I've had a couple scorecards come in this week where it said OC, but it didn't tell me what, or one card just said UR and it didn't tell me why. So in the game reports, we talked about this already. So I'm going to give you an example game report. Okay, now I altered this one up a little bit. This is from Chris's game. So in the disqualification box, you don't need to give all the details there. All you have to do is, if players were disqualified, you can put them in the disqualification box or you can put them in the game notes box. And if you're on the call, we might need to talk about how we do this disqualification box, because it allows you to type information where you can't see it. So we need to word wrap that box if that's possible. But you can see on this penalty card, we've got UR. It tells what the OC, it tells us exactly what's taking place here on this report. Okay. Now, in this particular case, where you have a player that's been disqualified and a player that's been removed for 3 URs, we are now going to have to, the referee's now going to have to fill out an incident report where you give us the exact details of why those players were removed from the game. And Chris did a great job here giving me that information. And basically what I did is I cut out of that disqualification box and created this document. So I was able to send it to Perry. We want to be able to give as much information as possible when a coach is questioning our decision on the field. Also, I want to bring this up because I don't know if we're still talking about this, but we should be. And we still have a verbal warning process that we will, that we created in our protocols, that if a coach needs a verbal warning, a white hat is to go over, issue the verbal warning, and provide all the details of what caused the verbal warning, what time of the game it was, give us the details. And I'm going to show you my report, why this is so important. Every Monday morning, this is the report I need to send to the NBIA. It goes through every UROC, everything. And I have to, so if we've got Odyssey on the bench, so my second one here, Odyssey, we had a bench objectionable conduct. I've got to explain exactly why we threw that penalty. They're using this for tracking purposes so that if number 11, right, we had a roughing the passer and a tour assist. If we continue to see this from this player week after week, well, that's going to have an impact on their decision making when it comes to, is it a 1 game, 2 game, 3 game suspension? So that's why it's so important when you guys are filling out these cards and filling out your reports to get me that information. I am using that for the NBIA. Okay.
Ray, just before you roll any further, those of you who, Ray included this, I think, in the email that he sent out, I asked the referee to do the same thing as far as reporting major fouls for AFL games, because I track it for that league also, just like I did the MFL. So by the Monday after, for AFL only, for the Monday after their game, I would like to have that report. Should only be 1 a week this year. So please, thank you.
Right. Okay. And again, if at all possible, I really need these reports Sunday night, first thing Monday morning, because I've got a commitment to the NBIA. And as it was, on Sunday night, Perry was looking for information on the KV game. And the reason why is the ADs, they want to get working on this ASAP to see if that kid's allowed to play in the upcoming weekend. So if I don't get this report to them by Monday morning, if I get it to them late Monday, Tuesday, it really takes away the time they need to make the decisions they need to make in these kinds of situations. So that's why it's so important I get these game reports early, so I have the ability to get them. I've committed to Perry, he'll have them by 10 o'clock Monday morning each week. So do your best to get me those game reports on time. Last but not least, now this isn't 100%. I've taken this out of the assigning tool. Not everybody's accepted. There's only a couple of people left, but this is basically what the assignments look like heading into week 2. There's a lot more games because the 9-man league is up and running this week as well. I didn't notice anything about AFL, so we must not be hosting an AFL game in Moncton or in New Brunswick this week.
I believe it's in PEI this week.
Is it? Okay.
That's
right.
correct.
We talked about it earlier. Yeah. So that is the assignments. If you haven't accepted your assignment from Patrick yet, please go in and get that firmed up. And that's all we have for this Monday night.
Ray, would you address the issue of officials who have, I know we've got Christopher Perry.
Yes, yep, let's talk about that. I want to make this clear across the board. If you hear any other messaging, you call me, okay? If you are an official and you have a son or daughter playing on another school's on a school's team. Okay. So I'm going to use Riverview High, for example. If you have a son or daughter playing in Riverview High, what that means as an official is you're not allowed to officiate Riverview High games. That does not pull you out from working Moncton High, Bernice McNaughton, Harrison Tremble. You can still work all those other games. Now, later on in the season, if there is a very important game for Moncton High because they're competing with Riverview High for seeding in a playoff, well, we may not assign you to that game, but we'll find another game to put you in. Okay. And we also keep in mind, if Riverview High is playing Saturday at 1:00, well, we probably won't put you in a Saturday at 1:00 game because we assume you want to be at the field watching your kids. If that's different, make sure you go to your assigning section in the tool to let us know if you're available or not available for those games.
And Patrick Fairweather is aware of this?
The executive is aware of this.
Okay.
I'm not the whole issue on that problem, Bill, so you might want to have a chat with Mr. Perry a little bit more in depth on that.
Well, it applies, he felt it applied.
Bill Patrick, we'll take that offline. Okay. But right now, that is the rule as far as players that have children that play for other high school teams. Okay. Michelle, I see you got a hand up. You got a question?
I do. I just a confirmation that you talked about halftime, and then I saw an email about it being 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Not 15 like somebody said it might be, and not 10, but 14. Did somebody time teams walking back and forth and gave them 2 minutes each time? Anyway,
No,
just to confirm that.
It is 14 minutes, and we've made it very clear to the leagues that the captains have to be at center field at 2:00, or sorry, at 12 minutes for the coin toss, followed by the teams, because at 14 minutes, we are kicking off. Okay. And if a flag has to be thrown for delay of game, then that's something we have to manage on the field. But it's
so Ray, just one of the usually the most what's the word I'm looking for? The most team, well, yeah, the most guilty party of this is KV, and they actually, with that 14 minutes, they went up to their school and came back, because I told Manguso at the beginning at the coaches meeting, I said, you have 14 minutes. That ball is being kicked at 14 minutes. I said, if not, there will be a penalty. So out of all the people who, probably one of the worst offenders of that stretching 10-minute halftime rule, he got that message this weekend. So hopefully it continues on future games for them.
That's great. And Perry has supported us 100% on this, and they've all received documentation from the NBA as the exact same thing of how I've explained this to you.
Ray, I have a question if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So it's John McDonald.
Yeah.
So what I did is I put myself not available because my son is grade 12 Simons.
Yeah.
But I put myself available when they're not playing. Is that correct?
Right. Just you control your availability. So if you've got a son that's playing Friday night at 7:00 and you're not available, but you're available Saturday, make sure that Patrick is aware of that in the assigning tool.
So I've communicated with Patrick about this is last year, and I'm going to be a parent. So
yeah, no worries. I totally get it. Karen, I see you got a hand up.
As an assigner, Ray, for minor, that goes for everyone. If you're new to the goal line, you guys can put in the notes your availability section. You can update that, and hopefully you do once a week. So that's minor right through to high school. We can see those notes. So just make sure you're doing that, and that'll hopefully alleviate any future problems with this.
Yeah. Is Karen still here? I saw a hand up. Maybe it was from earlier.
It was from earlier, and I'm sorry I forgot to put my hand down. I'm good.
No worries. No worries. All right, well, if that,
Just a sec, just
Oh,
one
go ahead.
last question. I'm sorry, Nathan from PEI here.
Yeah.
We've always tracked penalties, but we've never done the verbal warning. So would that go to the league to say this coach is getting a little hot, might need a little reminder? You know,
if you'll see on my report here,
yeah,
there's a section right here for verbal
I
warning.
see.
So
Okay.
if we have the same coach get
Right.
multiple warnings in 1 year,
Right.
in New Brunswick, I can't speak how it works for PEI, but there has been a couple coaches here, a little north of Moncton, that this has come into play.
Right. Okay. I like it. I've never. I think Nick is still on the call. Nick, I assume you would agree.
What we can do is we'll send you our protocols document, and if you guys
Right.
want to adopt some of that, you're more than welcome to.
Right. Well, I just think with flag too, it's so big in the schools too. So
Yeah.
it's there's a lot of and I get it. Sometimes things get heated but sometimes it crosses a line that should.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions?
Is your ear okay?
Is my ear okay? Yeah. Oh, all right. Here we go.
Turn off the recording. Stop recording.
Yeah, I feel like this needs to be an unrecorded
All right,
comment.
we're gonna
I
end
wasn't
the
there.
call here. We're gonna end
I
the call
wasn't
here.
there, but if you're